Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 21st of April 2025. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast. So welcome. I hope everyone's having a nice Easter long weekend. In Australia we get a 4-day long weekend for Easter. And I hope everyone's enjoying their time. It's been beautiful weather here on the Central Coast, so that's quite amazing for Easter, because normally Easter is when everybody goes away camping and it pours with rain. So it certainly hasn't done that this year. So I hope everyone's enjoying a lovely long weekend. So today I'm going to play with a beautiful suite that's coming on the 6th of May in the new annual catalogue. It's called the Gallery Blooms Suite Collection. It's a double stamp die bundle suite, so it's considered like a mega suite. It is actually just beautiful. All the components are beautiful. So I thought I'd show you that suite before we make a card. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, so this is the new catalogue coming on the 6th of May. I have put out my class schedule for May, and on Saturday the 3rd of May, yes, it's election day here in Australia, I'm going to have a catalogue launch in the afternoon. So you can go off and do all your election stuff in the morning, and you can come and have some fun playing with new products and just a nice afternoon tea. We're going to make 2 projects and just have a good look through the catalogue. I can't show you the inside of the catalogue until it goes live. I'm just checking my microphones are working. But yeah, it is in here. So also in the new catalogue are the new in colours that are coming, and they're beautiful in colours. This one is Secret Sea. This one is Darling Duckling. This one actually is Cloud Cover, not Secret Sea. Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Secret Sea, Strawberry Slush, which is a returning old in colour, I believe, and Timid Tiger. Now there is a problem with the Cloud Cover ink pad. They haven't released that as yet because they had problems when it went to production with the aging process that they do. It was coming out more grey than the bluey, like duck egg blue colour. So they withdrew it from being able to purchase it. You can get it in the Stampin' Right marker. So all the colours are available in the Stampin' Right markers, and I'm assuming it will be available in the Stamping Blends when the catalogue goes live. But as at the moment, the ink pad is not available and won't be available until they get it right. They don't want to release it until they get it right. So they're the new up and coming in colours that are coming in. So if you can't come to my catalogue launch and you would like a copy of the catalogue, let me know and I can certainly get one into your hot little hands. So now this is the card we're going to make. We're going to make a similar card, actually, not exactly this card. We're going to make, now this is using basic beige ink cardstock and the Cloud Cover cardstock. But I'm just going to reverse this around, and we're going to use Cloud Cover for the card base and the basic beige for the frame. So let me just show you this suite. There is so much in this suite. It's just gorgeous. There is this stamp die bundle. So it's called Gallery Blooms. So you get this stamp set, and it's just all floral images. Photopolymer. These are the dies and this frame on the back. So let me show you what they stamp and die cut like. So I have stamped all the floral images and die cut them out. And then these are the standalone little dies that come with this particular bundle, the Gallery Blooms bundle. Beautiful, all these little standalone dies. And you also get this frame. So when you put this frame onto your piece of cardstock, it cuts out 2 frames and a center all in one go, in one pass through the die cutting machine. So it cuts out this frame, and this panel here. So I think it's going to be very handy. So that is the Gallery Blooms bundle in the Sweet collection. Let me put that, I don't know where to put it here. And then you have another stamp die bundle called the Beautiful Motifs. And these are standalone dies. There's this one as well. And they are just standalone. They don't die cut any stamped image out. And this is the stamp set. And you've got all these sentiments, squiggly line, and this beautiful motif that kind of matches the embossing folder that's in this suite. So this is a really interesting one to have. So let me show you how they die cut out. So these two die cut like so, and these three actually don't die cut out fully. Let me get this out of the little bag and see if I can show you. See how they die cut partially, and then you can pop them up with a little stamping dimensional underneath to give you a little hint of the colour of the cardstock behind. Can you see how that works? It's really cool. Really love this die set as well. So I think it's handy for me to do those little display sheets because it kind of shows you how they cut out and what they look like. So they're the two stamp die bundles in this Sweet collection. You also have an embossing folder called the Damask embossing folder. It's not a 3D, it's just a normal embossing folder. Can you see? And it embosses beautifully. You also have the pressed flower motifs, little embellishments. I'll get them out. I don't know if you can see the detail on them. It's a bit hard to see, but yeah, they're really pretty and quite antique, vintagey looking. And then you also have the classic beige 3/8 of an inch ribbon. So this is if you buy the whole Sweet collection, and you also have this beautiful designer series paper. It is 6 by 6, and I have started cutting into it. It's one of those packs that you don't want to cut into, but you should. So let me push that up a little bit, and we will go through. So this is the beautiful paper. Let me just shimmy across a little bit. So I've got it all in view. So you have a few scenery ones. Oh, see, that's that one. I think I've mixed them all up. This is another one. This is just, some of these you could just put straight into an album, like into a little frame, 6 by 6 frame. So yes, a couple of scenery ones. Got my papers all mixed up because last Monday when I recorded, my microphone wasn't working, so I did all this for the card I made last week. But anyway, this is just beautiful, this piece. I love this piece. I mean, I love all of it. This is another beautiful piece. At On Stage at the Stamping Up conference we went to, the lady who demonstrated this Sweet collection had fussy cut around these floral images, and she had put them on a scrapbooking page, and it just was stunning. It was just so beautiful and something I would never have thought of doing. So it's lovely to go and get inspiration. This is the only page I don't like in this whole paper collection. I have no idea why they put like a map, a grid map kind of thing on the back. It just does not make sense to me, but that's me. Have I shown you that one? No, I have not. I don't think. No. Oh, now we're back to the beginning again. So you get 48 sheets, 4 pieces of the same design in the pack. And yeah, I think I'm going to have a few packs of this paper. It's just so gorgeous and very easy to use. And as I said, there's only one side of the whole pack of paper that doesn't fuss me. So that's interesting. I'm going to get that scrap out as well. So I always keep my 6 by 6 in a little sandwich bag. I think it's easy. And I also keep the backing sheet because that always tells you the colours that are in the papers, so you can sort of match it all up. So as I said, it is a mega suite. So you've got the paper, you've got an embossing folder, you've got these antique embellishments, you've got the ribbon, you've got one stamp set and die set, and another stamp and die set. So it is a big ticket item in the catalogue. If you bought the whole suite collection, it's $245. But you can buy things individually. You can buy one bundle at a time. If you buy the bundles, they're 10% off than buying them separately, the dies and stamp sets separately. So it's always a good idea to buy the bundle because you save 10%. You can buy, as I said, you can buy each bundle separately, or you can just buy one. You can buy the paper, the embellishments, the ribbon and the embossing folder all separately as well. So you can stagger your spending and make it not as big an outlay to start off with if you wanted to do that. So let's move all that over to one side. So this is the card we're going to recreate. Just going to reverse the colours round, and you use one of the other dies to sort of showcase. Because this, not Secret C, because the cloud cover stamp set isn't available, what I did to get the image, the little floral image on the frame, was I used Versamark. So it gave me the same effect. It's like a watercolour stamp. So if you don't have the ink pad that you want to match your cardstock, use Versamark and you get the same effect. It creates the same effect. So what I'm going to do is put that there. I've already die cut my frame out. So I'm using the larger frame. Where's mine? I'm using this larger frame for this card, and I've put these to one side to use on other cards. I've got my cloud cover card base. So let's just get that sorted. And the larger frame fits on our card base quite nicely, quite evenly, with the even border all the way around, which is really nice because quite often they're American sizes and they don't give us an even border. So I'm really happy that it did that. This is my piece of designer series paper that I have cut up, and I should have another. There we go. I've already cut a couple of these out, so let me just cut two at a time, and they're quite tricky to separate when you do it that way, but we can do it. We will do it. There we go. So I've cut Secret, no, I keep saying it's Secret C. This is not Secret C. Secret C is really dark. It's almost charcoal black. It's a really, really, really dark blue. That is Secret C. This is cloud cover. Denise just keeps getting muddled. Okay, so let's just separate that. Come on, you can open it. That's the only problem when you cut two together. They're a little trickier to open up, to separate. So I've got those, but what I thought I'd do, what did I do with my other die? Here it is, I put it back. I didn't. I used this die here on this card. So let me just pop that back in there. So this was the die I used on this card, and I thought on this card today I would use this other die sort of at an angle on our piece of designer series paper. So I thought I'd put it up here and down here, and maybe put our little sentiment in the middle. That's my thinking. Let's see if it comes to plan. Okay, so let me just pop this back in here. Before we do any die cutting, I will just pull my frame to one side, and I'm going to get the little floral image. I'll put my there out of this stamp set. You can see I've got multiple frames happening that I've been cutting out and doing things with. I'm going to get this little tiny floral image, so this one. And I'm going to put this on Is that block big enough? It is. So I'm going to put that on this block. And I could stamp it in Versamark, but I have basic beige, so it will do the same thing. So I'm going to use my basic beige ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp it all around the frame. Easier to do before you put your card together. So I'm just going to stamp it round. And down here, I just did like the little rosebud head. Just stamping all the way, and as I'm just going to use the head, but I'm going to use, see, like that. There we go. Now I shall get a tissue and just wipe my glass mat so I don't get basic beige ink everywhere. And you can see how that's given like a watermark look. Using the same ink, tone on tone, you get that ink, that look. But as I said, if you don't have the ink pad to match your cardstock, get your Versamark ink pad out, and it will give you tone on tone look. So let me just pop that away. And now I will bring in the die cutting machine. Just make sure my little bits aren't going to get lost, because that often happens. And I've got my little piece of paper, so let me just grab my machine. Move those up there out of the way. Okay, so this piece of paper is 6.7 centimeters by 11, and it will actually fit inside the frame, like so. And that's why I've done it to those measurements. So I am going to, and as I said, this is a piece of the designer series paper. Seems criminal to cut scenery paper away like that. And I'm just going to pop this one down here and run it through. Like so, and pull my die off, and you can see how that's cut through the paper but not right all the way through. And I'm going to put my die back down like so and run it through again. Okay, so let me get rid of the die cutting machine, because we don't need that again for this card anyway. Although sometimes I say that and I actually tell a fib because we end up needing it. Okay, so let's bring our card back in. Okay. You know what I'm going to put there? I'm going to put that there. Is that going to help with the glare? Not really, because that's just as glary. I know. There we go. That helps. Okay, so we've got our cloud cover base, our basic beige frame that we've stamped around, and now we've got our piece of designer series paper that we've die cut this die with. See how that looks? That's why I say you can put a little small stamping dimensional underneath to get it to look right. Now what I did was I put this on first. I found that was easier. So let me just grab my dimensionals and put, and I did put more than I normally would put on it because I don't want my frame to sag. So I did put a few extra on. There we go, like so. And get my take your pick tool. And I'll just get the backs off. Like so. Okay, so I'm just going to center this on my card, but this is really quite an easy card. Center it on my card base like so. So we've got a border all the way around, an equal border. Excuse me, I'll just have a sip of water. I really like these muted colours, and I'm going to put this on some glue on this and pop that in the middle, and then I'm going to come back with small dimensionals and put them underneath. I found that was easiest. So it's on part of the scenery that's a little bit hard to work out where it's cut through. I think that's right. Yep. So just going to thread it back through the frame, and it fits perfectly, so you don't need to worry about trying to put it into the right place. It does fit like so. And then I'm going to bring in my little mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to take the backing off it, and I'm going to just put it up in here, and I might put one under here as well, and it just gives a little bit of elevation to those cut pieces, and I think it looks really cool. So they're not sort of stuck down permanently. There's a bit of lift. Does that make sense? I hope so. Get away. It's really nice. I mean, this is just showing the card. What is actually showing the cardstock underneath? It gives you a little sneak at the colour underneath. I don't know if I'll do that one. Come on, out you come. So this one's going to go in here and just give that a bit of a lift. It's just, they're really cool dies, and they're just so beautiful and makes your card quite easy. There we go. Just lifting it up a little bit. Put one under there. There we go. Now you can get your little tool and lift these pieces up as well. Make sure they're not sort of flat down, just so the person getting the card knows that it's not all attached. It's got, you know, dimension and texture. And can you see that? How cool is that? I think it's really cool. Now on this card I used linen thread. I thought this ribbon was a little bit too big and clumsy. I do have a bow already made, but I still think it's a little bit big and clumsy. I just don't like the look of it, so I will get my linen thread out again. And they look quite different, just the reverse of the colours. The piece of paper is the same piece of paper. I haven't changed the piece of paper that I've done the die cutting with. Oh, we've got to put these on too. Forgot. I'll do that. Let me get my bow happening. Now, I really would like to do a double bow, but whether that's going to work on a video for me is another question. They normally don't. But let's just have a little try. Seeing that the card was so easy, let's just have a little try. When I say the card was easy, the product does all the work. Oh, did that work? I don't think it did. Let me undo that. Now, my double bows never seem to work when I try to on a video. And they're so cool. I wish they would work for me. Okay, let's get a little bit more. If not, we'll just go back to a single one. Okay. Okay, I think that's worked. Where are my snips? There. These are my oldest pairs of snips. They're like 17 years old and they're still going strong. Okay, so with a double linen thread bow, you get 2 loops, of course, and 2 tails. And that just adds a little bit more interest. And then, I don't know if you've seen me do this with my tails. I get my take your pick tool and I just fray the tails out. Hold on to your knot up the top, the knot of your bow, because if you don't, you'll end up pulling your bow undone, and you don't want to do that. Not when you've got it tied so beautifully. So I'll go back to this one. And this is just making it a bit more vintagey. A bit more shabby chic. That used to be a word. I don't know if those words are still around now, but they used to be a sort of a crafting word back in the day. Okay, let me go over here. I'll do one at a time. So just get your pick tool and the pokey end and just tease it out, and just, yeah, it just makes it look really nice, I think. Just unravels it. Does that make sense? One more. Here we go. Got it. So my husband and I and Rosie yesterday, Easter Saturday, we went down to Bondi and parked the car and we did the coastal walk, Bondi to Coogee coastal walk. It was so good. There were so many people out and about doing the walk. Rosie was a little bit overwhelmed at first because the footpath, like the walkway, was quite congested. But as that was at the Bondi end, as we sort of got into the walk, it sort of thinned out a little bit, but there still was a lot of people out and about. But it was still fun. And yeah, so it was 7 kilometres round trip, although my Fitbit told me I'd done 15.1, so I'll take it. And 22,000 steps on my Fitbit. Rosie's got a little pedometer that she got from when we've done August. The month of August, you walk for half an hour every day. We'll probably do it again this year. Raising money for the guide dogs, and you get she gets a little pedometer each year that we've done it, and that counts her steps, which is pretty cute. And she did 19,500 steps one way. So we took her little pet carry bag that we've got, and we didn't make her walk all the way back home, back from Coogee to Bondi. We put her in the carrier bag and we carried her back. And she was quite chuffed with that, I think. Okay, let me just get these little die cuts, little bits out of them. There we go. Now what I did with this card, I just stuck them in with glue dots, but let's just have a look at where we want to position them, because this die is quite different. I'll just sort of set them up first and think about it, because we might not want all of them. Then again, we might. Who knows? Does that look all right? I can't ask you because you're not on, I'm not live. Or do we just need, oops. I think it looks a bit bland, just, maybe this one should come down here. This one goes there. This is where you take the time and sort of I think that looks nice. We've got to put our sentiment on. Let's get rid of our twine. We've got our bow to put on as well. So let me get rid of our twine or our linen thread. And I stamped sentiment from the beautiful motifs on a piece of the designer series paper. I just turned that over. I didn't use the scenery side, although you could. We could do that this time. We could do that. Because there's a little bit of blue, that the cloud cover, that we could do that with. On that piece anyway. So remember to do that. Turn your designer series paper over to the plainer side and stamp your sentiment on it, because it looks quite good. Now I thought I might do the celebrate this time, because celebrate can be for a lot of things. So, and I used early espresso for the sentiment. That's one of the colours in the paper pack, but of course that doesn't, it's not in any of this paper. Celebrate. Is that it? Yes, that's it. So we'll get that out ready. Let's put our little these things in. And I'm just going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to pick it off with the pick tool, because sometimes if I don't, it tears. Okay, and I'm just going to poke that in under there with my glue dot. Same with this one. If I should do it like that, so my sentiment can go there. See, this is me overthinking things now. I think I will actually. I do like that. So I'm going to pop this one in here as well, just to be a little bit different. Okay, and then let's get this. That in there. And this one. So I really hope when the catalogue comes out, you do have a good look at this suite. There are so many bits to it, so many components to it, not bits. It sounds a bit tacky, doesn't it? So many components to it that I really think it has to have a good look at. Now I'm going to put my ribbon over here, because I think that, and then my sentiment here. I think that's what is going to happen. So because you've done a double bow, your knot is quite chunkier, so you don't need to roll up your glue dot. I'm just going to pop that there. Make sure my glue dot stuff is inside and not. And see, that is just sort of nice and wispy. Okay, so we've got to put our embellishments on, which are here, but let's just have a little look and work out our sentiment. Now we could go like that. Let's just see what we think. I'm just going to, I might trim it down a little bit, make it not quite as wide. And it's got some beautiful sentiments in it. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. That would be good for a wedding card or an engagement card. Just a note, hello, thinking of you. Thank you for everything. I'm here for you always. Celebrate, you've been on my mind. Really nice sentiments. Where's my snips? And I do want to take a little bit off that. So I'm going to cut that here. And I'm going to cut this. Could use your trimmer. I probably should use my trimmer, but I'm not using my trimmer. Okay, and I think I might cut this down a bit too. And a bit more off this end. And I might just take a little. So use your paper. If you've got like a nice coloured piece of paper, use it. So I think that's a bit crooked, so I'm just going to try and straighten it up. Okay, I am going to put a small dimensional on the Celebrate side, this side, and another one here, and then I am going to get a little dab of glue because it's going to go on the frame, just a little dab, and put on that end so we can put our dimensionals there because our frame is up on dimensionals, and we're putting it like that. So this end has been elevated with dimensionals to take in the frame being up on dimensionals. Now we've got our pressed flower motifs, and let me just get, where will I put them? I think we need one here. And they're large and small. And one down here. Now you watch me struggle with the third one. Here we go. Where will I put my third one? I could go down here. Could go down here. Go over here. I might go over here. Okay. There we go. Now if you wanted to, you could put a glue dot behind your little pieces of spray. If you don't like those flapping around, you could put a glue dot behind one of these and just attach it down to like your frame. But I'm okay with that at the moment. I'm okay. Okay, so there is our card today using, I'll keep those because they're handy, using the Gallery Bloom Sweet Collection from the new upcoming annual catalogue. There's our two cards. Using two of the different dies. I hope you like those. They're quite vintagey, shabby chic, and they're it's just a really beautiful sweet collection to play with. So let's go back to here. There we go. So there we go. There's two different cards using that sweet collection. No, this way and this way. So I hope you enjoyed that, having a look at that beautiful mega suite that's coming. As I said, I sent out a newsletter today with my May classes coming up. Saturday the 3rd of May is my annual catalogue launch. If you'd like to come along to that, if you live locally, let me know. It is booking up. And then I have an in-person class on the 10th of May, an online class on the 24th of May, and another in-person class on the 31st of May. So message me if you want details to any of those, if you're not on my mailing list, and I can certainly send those details out to you. So thanks for watching today, and I hope you have a great Monday and the rest of your Easter long weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. for Card and a Cuppa. Bye for now.